Hey, Bubba. How are you doing tonight? See if I can get this link done today. Oh, nothing. Just kind of hanging out. I'm bored. Nobody's live, so I was like, what the hell? Why not? We'll see if anybody comes in and want to talk. If not, oh well. As I hiccup along.
Hey, John, what's going on?
Oh, what's up, bud?
Oh, it actually worked. Yeah, we've been having problems in another chat with Reefer Madness. I don't know if you know Craig from Canada. Yeah, I was in there. They've been trying to get people in for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, it's good. You got a good link.
Hey.
What you up to, man?
Oh, nothing. Just got off work, put the kids in bed. Was like, nobody's on. I'm bored. Let's see if anybody comes in and want to talk. I really don't care what we talk about. I'm just kind of bored.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. If you need the hours for your channel, then totally just keep it up. I know people are at Reefer Madness. I think Dave and a few other Lisa, Reef Jeeves, and I'm trying to remember the last person. There's a few people in there, like 9 or 10 people on that channel. I just saw it come up, so I figured I'd jump in and see what you're up to.
Nothing about to clean the glass. I got some algae that's built up over the past few days. So
Yeah,
other than that, doing nothing.
same here, man. Just kind of chilling. I have to clean up a little bit, but got some plans tomorrow. But that's about it. How long you had your tank up, man?
The 60's been up since June. It was my birthday slash Father's Day present to myself.
Oh, nice. June. Yeah, that's some time now.
Yeah. Finally got some good lights, so once I get some extra money, I'll be buying some more coral.
Yeah, they start getting their stride around that time, man. After about 6 months plus, you're able to do a lot more with the tank because it's a little bit more matured.
I noticed that a lot too.
Yeah, mine was a wreck, dude. Trust me. I tell people, they don't believe me. I'm like, dude, I might be able to put a nice video now, but back then, hell no. Our tank was a mess. I think you're muted, bud. Are you muted?
Yeah, I'm muted.
Oh, okay,
I'm getting yelled at by the girlfriend because technically she bought me the lights, which I have said before.
Yeah, no, they look good. Love the lights.
Oh yeah, I love these.
You can grow anything on those.
Yeah. So, but yeah, she's the one that bought me the lights. But I think the tank, was that a co-buy, babe, or was that just me buying it?
What?
The tank.
This whole tank?
Yeah, this tank, stand tank.
You said you found one on Facebook. That's okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I got the approval, but I think I paid for it.
It's all good, man.
Have to set the record straight. Damn it. What are they talking about over there?
They were going over with Tina Sump because she wanted to kind of slow down the flow. So she has a few options she can do. It's kind of her choice on that part. So, so Craig had gone off to just pick up his wife, and then he should be back by now, I think. But in the chat, that's kind of the cool part about sometimes being in the chat. I don't normally jump on the live streams, but in the chat, sometimes you can have two completely different conversations.
Oh yeah.
So I like, if you ever have a question or anyone have a question, you just throw it out there, and someone may chime in and say, "Yeah, I got experience in that," or "I don't."
Yeah, I've seen you answer a bunch in the chat.
I try to, at least the stuff that I've ever experienced. I don't want to be answering things that I don't know about or feel that I don't have enough experience about. So
yeah, see, that's my deal, is because I've had plenty of freshwater aquariums since I was like 13. This is my first saltwater. So I mean, in regards to saltwater and coral keeping and all that, I'm still a newbie.
Yeah, no, well, a lot of us are, bud. Trust me. I'm only about, let's see here, what is March now? January, February, March. About 15 months in.
Yeah.
I actually don't have that long time of experience, man, really. I've read a lot. I've researched a ton of stuff. I've listened to some of the heavy hitters out there, listened to them talk about from water quality to substrates to everything. And aside from that, I actually did work for one of the best LFSs out here in Arizona. So I was able to talk to someone that has 30 plus years actually of experience reefing. And just be able to pick his brain. It's awesome. Just ask him anything, like, "Hey, what do you think about?" He's like, "Oh no." You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it's I really took advantage of that, and he knows that, because he's like, "Man, you ask a lot of good questions." I go, "Yeah, it's because I want to know what's the real deal." But it's because, in the briefing, it just gets so complicated. It can really be a complicated question or a complicated answer as well. Just there's a lot involved. There's so many different ways of getting to the same thing or same, from A to Z the same way.
Oh yeah.
And I try to tell people that.
Yeah. I think most of the issues I have with this tank will be fixed when I upgrade to I think they will be. I'll probably unleash a complete new issues.
What kind of issues are you having that you're trying to correct?
Well, for the longest time, I had green hair algae just covering all over the place. Right. I've got that under control for the most part. I fought with cyano a lot, but since I got the gyre, it's pretty much all gone away. So that fixed that.
Yeah, the higher flow does great work for cyano. Tiger conchs do great on cyano. Crocus snails do good on it on the walls or anywhere inside. There's, but that can also just be from overfeeding. It could be from dead spots, from flow, but you see how it's clearing up, because typically lowering the nutrients and just elevating the flow a little bit will help.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like I barely feed this tank, but all the fish are fat and happy, so I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, that's all that matters, as long as they're healthy.
Yeah, I mean, like my back wall, I mean, I still have a lot of green hair algae on the back wall. I mean, I could get back there with a scraper and scrape it off, but the tang, my yellow tang, and my coral beauty angel, they sit there and peck at it constantly.
Well, that's good. Yeah, they're keeping it under control. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it looks like grass. Yeah, back there.
If you ever want to try to test anything, though, just remember it's going to end up coming as 0 for a
Oh, I
phosphate.
know. Oh yeah,
So,
I know my
uh,
phosphates are high, and that's my main thing. I'm trying to get under control at this point because I do test 0. I have always tested 0,
yeah, if
but
you're seeing a bunch of algae everywhere, they're eating up all that phosphate and nitrate typically.
yeah, and it's pretty much gone from the rocks now. I'm getting a lot of uh purple coralline finally starting to show up, so
Oh, good, good.
it's just on the back wall now. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take that.
Nah, yeah, you could scrape that off, and actually, you should be able to get a reading once you scrape that off.
Yeah,
You should
I'll
be,
do that.
because that's pretty much what people don't realize, that the algae and any kind of macroalgae that might be around there is just eating it up. So you get like a false negative or false
Oh yeah,
0, if you want to call it that.
yeah. I call it my in tank refugium because I know
Yeah, that
that's
could
what
be
that algae. I know
it.
that's what that all that algae's doing.
Yeah,
Getting like a
that's funny. Yeah, we all have our little battles, man. I got a little bit of bubble algae, but when I'm doing my water changes, I try to siphon some of that out,
yeah.
and I don't have anything to pick at it, so I just have to be a little bit like, it's weird because bubble algae is just so resilient. It doesn't matter if you do a blackout for 3 days. You can even do it for 5 days, and that stuff will still be alive.
Oh,
So
dude.
people don't realize that. It's like, you're
Uh,
not. It doesn't go away that fast. So
yeah.
it
That
takes months.
that tank that I helped my local fish store move this past week that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
When we got it all drained down inside the overflow, because it
It
was a
curled.
300 gallon tank. I I am not kidding. An inch thick all the way around the inside of the overflow from top to bottom.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was like, wow. And my local fish store, the owner's like, I've never seen bubble algae that bad in my life.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I mean, every now and then I see one on the rocks, and what I do,
Right.
I just reach in there and scoop it up because it's not attached. It's like it's just sitting there.
Yeah, if wherever it's at, and you can take it out, suck it out for sure. You don't want it, because once that cyst or whatever just pops, if it does,
Yeah,
it's just gonna end up going somewhere else on your rock and keep wanting to grow. So they can grow in low light too. So keep an eye out on that. They really
yeah.
can. Oh, what's up, Phil? Damn,
What's up? What's
we got a
up?
superstar, man. We got a
Oh,
star in
Reef
here.
Keeper, what's up,
Yeah,
bud?
it's
What's
good to
going
see
on,
you.
guys?
Not
Nothing,
much.
bored.
Just jumped
Same
in.
here.
I was in Reefer Madness for a little bit. He had left for a second, and then he's having a hard time getting the link out. So I'm thinking he's going to email people. So I just jumped over
Oh,
here
right
since
on.
John started one.
Yeah, I'm not subscribed to him, so I had no idea he was on.
Oh yeah, that's cool, man. He's a good guy. He's in Canada, and Canada. Sorry,
Where about in Phoenix are you,
I
if you don't
am
mind? Well,
like the
Phoenix,
border.
duh.
The border of like Mesa, Tempe, and Phoenix.
Yeah.
I'm right there, so technically it's
Okay.
Mesa, but I just say Phoenix. So
Yeah.
because it's the
My
biggest town, you know what I mean. I mean, no one really knows what Mesa is. So what's Mesa? So,
my dad was stationed in Phoenix for a while.
is it St. Luke's or
Uh,
Mark or March Air Force Base or something?
Marks.
Yeah, it was right.
Yeah.
Air Force Base. Yeah, yeah. It's not too far from here. Pretty close.
The few times that I saw him in my childhood, I was out there twice. So
What are you showing us, Phil? It's looking
yeah.
good.
I just got down to the water change on my 58, and I was kind of feeling sorry for my tangs that are in this little tank. Look at this blue tang over here, man. That thing is massive.
Uh-oh. Tank Police is going to come out in the chat if anybody's watching.
Yeah, I know. I thought about throwing them in this tank over here, but the thing is I have a purple tang in here, and I don't want them to start going to battle.
Yeah.
So I got
Oh, that's nice.
You ever tried with the acclimation box just to see how he acts?
Yeah, I actually have one, so I thought about it.
You never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling bad for them, but they're I don't know. I take good care of them, but they just don't have much room to swim, so.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time to trade in one of the tanks for a bigger one.
Right.
This one here is this one here is up 11 months. And I've been having some problems with it. Bubba knows, but I don't know if you're aware, but I had marine velvet.
Ooh.
So I lost a few fish. I managed to save 11 of them, though. And then, and now I got 22 in here. And then after the velvet, I had dinoflagellates real bad. So it's just about over with now, I think. Seeing some slight stuff on the sand. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's cleared up pretty good now.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks great, Phil. Honestly, it's looking good.
How does your flame angel act with your corals?
He goes around and he pecks a little bit. He's not really. I haven't really seen him destroy anything yet, but the one thing that I've noticed since I added him was during the daytime when he's out and about, all the polyps on my SPS, they stay retracted, and they only come out at nighttime. Whereas before I added him, they used to be out during the day.
Oh, they know that in the daytime they might be getting picked at. That's why they close up.
Exactly. Yeah. This one here, the polyps are really retracted. Almost everything. That bird's nest in the back is about the only one that has his polyps out all the way. But the rest of them stay pretty retracted in the daytime.
You thinking about taking them out, or are you going to keep them in there?
I actually had a fish trap in here for about a week, but I couldn't get him to go anywhere near the trap.
Yeah.
I know it takes time, but I spent a good probably 3-4 days trying to catch him. I kind of hate to take him out because he's a gorgeous fish.
Yeah.
But the coral's more important than the fish.
It costs a lot more too.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just really happy with all the fish, and for the most part, the selection I have gets along pretty good. The yellow eye coal tang goes after my fire fish a lot, which he beats them up pretty bad. But they're small enough to squeeze. They got this rock right here in this little crevice.
Right.
And so I don't know. It's he bullies them, and then this Antheus here, he's pretty big. He bullies the yellow chorus wrasse really bad. But other than that, I mean, it's just a squabble here and there. But for the most part, there's nothing too bad. It's pretty peaceful for the most part.
I know because I had my tang before I got my coral beauty angel. And I did not see that angel for like a month because that tang was just tearing him up. But now they're like best friends, so.
This anemone right here is finally hosting the clowns, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How long did it take them to host finally?
You know what I did is I taped a iPad to the glass for about 2 weeks with just a looping video of clownfish and anemones. And
That's awesome. That's great.
and I had heard people saying, tape a picture up to the side of your glass. So I thought, well, I have an extra iPad. I might as well just do a looping video. And I left it on there for like 2 weeks, just let it run day and night. And they never really went near it. As soon as I pulled the iPad off, about 2 days later, I saw them in there. So
they're like, hey, check that out.
I don't know. I don't know if that worked or it was just a coincidence, but it was still pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I could never get my clowns to host my NIM when I had it.
This clown right here, John, is I've had him for 23 years.
23 years. Wow.
Yep, that one right
That's awesome,
there.
man.
That's awesome.
And I've had this, well, when I bought these hairy mushrooms here, it was 2 mushrooms that were on this rock. And he's been hosting with those the whole time. And this is like his area. Nobody goes in here. But he just hangs here all the time. Yeah. He always has. And, I've done a little bit of changing on my rockscape throughout the years, but I've always left this this rock in this area because that's where that clown has been the whole time. And now you can see, though, these mushrooms are, look at this.
They're huge, man.
They're everywhere.
Wow. Yeah.
Look back here.
Oh, wow.
It's just
my goodness, the whole row.
Oh, yeah. They're everywhere, man.
Yeah, they just stuck to that back glass and kept growing. That's crazy. You can't even clean it.
And I've scraped them off with the razor blade at least. Throughout the years, I've scraped them off probably, I don't know, half a dozen times. But I don't know. It looks kind of cool in a way, I guess.
Yeah, it looks neat. That's crazy. I've never seen it grow like that.
No. Well, you ever scrape them off and get rid of them, I'll pay shipping.
Yeah, I have stuff that's overgrown. I throw it up on this little frag rack here. And then I started out with one rose bubble tip, and this guy just split the other night. So I got 3 in here now. And then I don't have much SPS in here. I got this, that's a Garf Bonsai that was almost dead, but he's came back. And then I got tricolor Valletta right there. And then that's just a big old green bird nest. But once in a while, if like this mushroom here that's loose, I'll pluck them out. And then I have a little tank in this room running that it hasn't been doing so hot though, because there's no fish or any type of stuff in here. But so I'll just throw them down in here and then take them to the LFS and trade them in once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There's really nothing in there. Just I got one little piece. This is the tank, Bubba, where I threw this piece of pecani to test it.
The dino you told me about.
And I got it too. As soon as I threw that in there, within a couple of days, this tank was covered in dino.
That's insane.
Wow.
So did it finally go away, just naturally, or?
Yeah, I mean, just because there's really nothing for it to cling on to. So just by water changes and scraping it down, it kind of eventually seemed to go away. And then I got cyano in here really bad, but it's kind of subsided too. I actually used what's this stuff called?
It's probably the cyano that was eating the dino.
Probably, yeah. I'll probably get it back now. So I use this stuff.
Oh, okay.
Cyano,
yeah,
RX. Yeah.
Yeah, it's similar to the ChemiClean.
Yeah, I normally don't like to use chemicals, but I don't know.
I'm right there with you. I do everything I can not to use chemicals.
Yep, and definitely balance things.
I just have I've had this canister filter for years, so I just have that. It's filled up with Matrix, and then I just got a little one of those sponge filters over here. It's just kind of a bunch of leftover stuff I had. I even have a it's just a big mess. But I have a Reef Keeper Lite controller.
Ah,
That was on the 58 before I got the Apex. And then I did some just because I don't know, I like to just tinker with stuff. I took some silicone tubes, so my airline that runs outside, I did it in blue to match the plumbing.
Yeah, I like
And
your
then,
setup, man. It looks good with the color.
And the same with the RO line. I took it's just actually slid over, but I just slid that over the keep the kind of the blue theme. And then I don't know if you've ever seen this side, Bubba.
No, I haven't seen that actually.
Yeah, I did a
Nice.
false wall. This was
Yeah.
this was actually made out of the shipping container, and so then I mounted
That's
everything in there.
oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, hell yeah. Love it, the Voss dosing bottles.
Yeah,
I've been seeing a lot of those lately.
They work, yeah. They work great.
they are.
They
They're
seal
it's
great in their glass. So.
the perfect glass, 800 mils. I mean, they're perfect.
Mm-hmm. I still hand dose. I know people say I'm crazy to keep dosing like that, but I do. I don't know. I just make it part of my regiment, like while feeding them, and just kind of throw it in. It doesn't matter. They don't care. It's okay. I prefer
They,
just dead.
I think that's another thing that I was having issues with this tank with. I was hand dosing, and everything started clearing up once I've just gone back to weekly water changes and quit dosing.
Depends what you're dosing, though, bud. Because I'm just dosing alkalinity. So
Yeah,
a little bit of the 2-part from ESV. The B-Bionic.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
dosing. I was dosing calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium.
Have you been testing for it to see if it's high or low in your system?
Yeah. Calcium was way low, so I started dosing that first, and then I got that under control. I'm right at like 420, 430,
Right.
and then let's see. Oh, hold on. And then I started dosing magnesium because it was like at 800. It was
Your
way
magnesium was
low.
at 800?
Yeah, it was like way low.
Did you test your salt?
Yeah, salt was fine. It's just when I started dosing, I quit doing water changes.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
that was another issue.
Yeah, the no water changes becomes a little bit of a challenge because it's a really big balancing game. I mean,
Yeah,
I haven't even attempted it because my reef is doing fine. So I'm like, nah. I have noticed though, just so you know, I used to go from having to do water changes every week, but I can get away with up to 2 weeks because my nutrients and everything else stays pretty low.
hmm
So I know I'm able to go at least 2 weeks, but I don't want to keep pushing it on the system. I don't run a skimmer. I don't have a sump. I don't have anything. So
Well, I've got a skimmer, but it's a hang on the back piece of crap. I might as well take it off because it.
it's
I
not working
had,
right. I mean, it'll still aerate the water, but
yeah,
you know, if you're
I
having
had
pH problems.
yeah, I had a eShops hang on the back, and the case cracked on it.
Oh, ouch.
So I had a skimmer that I got when I first got the tank, and it was a Core Life hang on the back skimmer, and this thing is a piece of junk.
Yeah, not all hang on the backs work very great, to be honest.
Yeah, I think pretty much.
But if you have a sump, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when I get my 200. I'm going to a sump.
The Aquamax hang on the back works pretty good. It's kind of
there's,
big, but
there's
it
only a
does
few out
work
there that
good.
actually work. That's why I'm saying some Hannovacks have a bad rap.
I had one years ago, PR Backpack 2,
Yeah.
and it was okay, but it was always real finicky with the water level. So sometimes you just get a bunch of water in there or clear liquid. So I figured why even bother, because it wasn't, pulling no crap really.
Oh yeah. I bought one. I mean, I just never set it up.
Well,
I was so worried about just it skimming out stuff that I needed. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let the tank figure itself out. So, but it took honestly about almost 6 months for it to really stabilize well enough that I felt comfortable to put anything inside the tank.
Yeah.
I have starfish, a clam. I mean, I have all kinds of stuff in there, and it's doing fine. So, dendros and things that typically some people don't want to keep.
see, and that's my next thing I want to get. I want a clam.
Clams are great.
Yeah,
Bro.
I want one
They're
too.
awesome.
And that 300-gallon that we moved for that guy, he had, I kid you not, probably when it was opened up, it was probably 6, 8 inches across. I mean, it was huge.
Are you guys both thinking about
Yeah,
getting Maxima clams? Or are you going with a little bit bigger, like a Durasa, or?
I want a
Uh,
Maxima.
honestly, I don't know the difference between them. I haven't even really researched them or looked into them. That which obviously I'm going to do before I get one. But
If you don't want
I'm like,
nothing to get too crazy big, I would say Maxima because they are a slow grower, but they still filter a ton of water.
yeah,
So your nitrates and phosphates, everything that's in there, it's filtering it. So no, you don't have to worry about that. And try to get a clam that's over 3 inches.
yeah.
Because that way you
Exactly.
don't have to feed them. Because I had to feed mine for over 6 months before I felt comfortable to not actually hand feed them with a cut 2-liter bottle and then pushing phytoplankton straight into it. So it's giving you a heads up. After 3 inches, they use more of their mantle and they're more photosynthetic at that time. So you'll still want to dose every once in a while the tank with some phyto, or if not, some oyster feast. They love oyster feast. I don't know, mine
Yeah.
goes crazy for it. But
I know when we
Live,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, Live Aquaria had a sale, and I picked one up for, I think it was like $30. It was a pretty big sale, and when they shipped it to me, it was about the size of a nickel.
oh no, that's too small,
Oh,
man.
I know, dude. It was the tiniest
Size of a
thing
nickel.
I ever saw, man. The picture, and of course in the picture it looked big. You saw the mantle all open, and I looked in the bag and I'm like, where the hell is the clam? And I thought it was just a little rock.
Wow, that's horrible.
It didn't even make it through the night. I stuck it in the
Yeah.
tank, and it was the Melanaris wrasse just had it split wide open, and it just
Oh
sucked the
man.
insides right out of it. Yep.
Well, words of advice on my side: try to go with, aquacultured if you can. They're a little bit more
Yeah.
hardy, and definitely something over 3 inches. So,
Yeah, I bookmarked that site you told me about. I have it. I saved it, so I'm gonna check them out.
oh, good. Yeah, that site's pretty good. It is pretty good with clams. They have a ton of them.
I can't remember the name right now, but I know when you
Um,
told me about it, I
I
saved
think
it.
it's East Pacific Aquaculture.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
site. They have pretty good stuff. They bring from Indonesia, and the owner is on YouTube every once in a while, and he handpicks a bunch of stuff. But he does go to a aquacultured farm to pick up a lot of his clams.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they look crystal clear. Like there's no, they keep them in great shape. There's not stuff all over them. They're not aquacultured or maricultured like in the ocean.
Right.
So they do
Yeah,
good.
the one thing I'm a little concerned about is the flame angel, though. Now I don't know if angels
Yeah,
know
they'll pick at
but
clams.
since I do, yeah. So
That's why
I know that's one of those things. It's kind of like, what do I do? And another fish that I've actually considered, because I lost one of my anthias, so I want to get a replacement fish. And I've been thinking about getting a blue throat trigger. and I know they can. I know they can pick at them too. So
Yeah,
I'm not
they
sure.
they even pick sometimes at soft like acans or scullies. They like meaty stuff. The
Right.
triggers. But yeah, clams would be
Yeah.
definitely on their menu.
Oh man, yeah, I'd hate to, spend a couple hundred on a clam and just watch them get picked apart
It's
by
just
the flame angel.
$100 a dish, right? Meal
Uh,
plan. That would be pretty
I think I'd be eating me some fish that night.
bad. Turn on the barbecue. Yeah, no, they cook them. No joke. Philippines and other places, they just cook them. There's like
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
it's
They
like a
do.
dime a dozen. It's crazy. I've seen videos about it. I'm like, wow. Okay, those are the ones we typically have in our aquarium. Whoops.
I don't think I would eat that. Yeah. Before I really do anything else, I want to get my 200-gallon tank.
Are you gonna buy it this year or no?
Mm, more than likely not. I would love to, unless I come across one on like Facebook for super cheap. I probably will not.
Yeah, it's a huge investment. I mean, I'm sure Phil can definitely tell you about that because I don't have a big boy tank, but I've put plenty of money in these little ones. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that. That I know for sure.
there's plenty of
Yeah, I got.
money in.
Yeah, Phil
I
had
was
to
gonna
sell
say,
his boat and his motorcycle to get his.
and it's not even that big, really. It's a Red Sea Reefer 525, but still
Oh,
with the three Radions, the Apex, and I bought all pretty much, top of the line stuff. So, I'm into it probably close to 10 grand, I would say, with just everything. That's why the 58 for this many years is just money wise, it adds up quick.
oh,
Yeah,
I know.
I know,
yep, sure does.
I
I
got.
know a while back, I was looking at my 58 and I'm like, I need a bigger tank. And so I went on Bulk Resupply and I put it in the cart and I looked at the price and I was like, oh, hell no, no way am I going to do this. And then, and then with my neck being tore up and just not being able to use them, my motorcycle and my boat and, I just wasn't getting better. So I finally said, you know what, instead of me just watching rot, let me sell them and I'll use the money for that and, get something that I enjoy doing. So that's exactly what I did.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have another tank right now. I'd still have just the one.
I mean, I've got. Well, we have the 90-gallon freshwater that's in the bedroom. That's my girlfriend's tank. It's freshwater planted. Uh, I got the 60 saltwater. I got the 5-gallon Pico in the kitchen, and my daughter has a 20-gallon long freshwater in her bedroom. Now she's
Nice.
only here every first, third, and fifth weekend of the month, so it's my tank.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the remaining leftovers of what I had when me and my ex-wife were still living together. And then I moved out, and the tank stayed there for probably 3-4 months before I was able to get it to my new place. And when I went over there, she's like, it's only got one fish. And then I'm sitting there digging around and had what are they called? The tetras, the striped tetras, that the big silver and black ones, the tiger stripe tetras, maybe? I don't know. I haven't
I've
even
seen
looked at freshwater fish. I had two in there when I left, and one of them died, and she took it out and threw it away. Well, I'm sitting there digging through all the plants, and I see this yellow fish come out of nowhere. Apparently, they had babies, and one survived.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, in a very poorly kept tank because obviously it wasn't taken care of because I wasn't there.
This tank right here was going to be my tank for the Nano Challenge. I started to set it up, and then I decided against it. But
What?
Oh,
There it is.
that's a little 10-gallon.
that's a tidal wave 50 or a 30? Is that 30?
No, it's a little 10-gallon.
Oh,
Just
it's
a
a 10 gallon.
Aqueon, just a little
Oh,
10
okay.
gallon. Yeah,
Nice.
I had it as a quarantine tank for a while, and I thought about using it, but I had this leftover Picani, and then I have this over here
Ooh,
still.
Nissan Z. There you go.
Yeah, that's my little, yeah. It's dirty as hell right now, but I put rims on it. Nice rims.
What year is that? 2011?
It's an 03.
Oh, it's an 03.
Uh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looks like a
Looks great.
04.
Yeah, man, looks great. I knew it was a little
Yeah,
older from the back, but I was like, I was like, what year is that?
Sorry, I've been in the collision business since I was 18, so 13, 14 years now.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
I
you
love the Z's are
auto
awesome.
body or what?
Yeah, I worked for Bubba probably should know the name because they have some out there in Arizona. Service King Collision Repair.
Service King. I don't know if I've seen it or not.
Oh, well, I know there's a few out there in Phoenix.
Yeah, my
But
son is an adjuster for Geico. He's
oh
a claims
god,
adjuster.
oh god.
He's
They can make good money
I
though.
don't
Oh
oh, he
no,
makes a ton of
they
money.
they make good money, but oh my, from the body shop side, Geico and Progressive are the hardest to deal with because I can't tell you how many times because I was a parts manager at Service King, so I got all the parts for the cars. They would send me to some mom and pop salvage yard to pick up a fender or a door, and I get there and there's a, let's just say it's a fender, and there's a 4-inch hole in the fender from where it's rusted out. Yeah, that's insurance quality. Let me tell you about it. And I tried to tell my Geico adjusters that ain't gonna be no good. I get there, take a picture, send it to them. All right, well, this other salvage yard has one. I would have to go through that 3 times before I could get an aftermarket or OE. Now, which I would prefer to get an OE, but they would always force me to go aftermarket before then.
Yeah, I know my son. My son was telling me he gets along pretty well with the body shops. As a matter of fact, he gets along with them so well that they repainted his car for I don't know, like $500, and
Oh,
they did a
damn.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
paint job on it too. Yeah, it came out really, really nice. He has an Acura RSX, and
Okay.
Oh, nice.
yeah, it had rims on it. It was real nice, and they painted it for him. And then he turned when he started working for Geico, they gave him a Ford Fusion, I guess, as a company car. It's all
That's
wrapped
what they
in
usually.
yeah, and so they pay for everything on that car. So he wound up selling all his cars, and he just uses the company car for everything now.
Oh, that's
So that's
crazy.
pretty. Yeah, they take care of him there. That's a great place to work.
Yeah, a great place to work. Hard to deal with on the body
Yeah.
shop side, though. But I mean, that's how it is with 99.9% of the insurance companies.
What kind of RSX do they have? Mid model, like 2005 or a little bit?
Um, it was 2000. I think it was a 2005. It was like 2 years newer than my cars. Yeah, I think it was either
Oh, okay. Yeah,
05
it's
or
like
07.
one of the best RSX out there. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Type
I'm like, which one was it? A 2005 or 2006?
Yeah, it
probably
was
the
the
Type
type.
S.
It was
Yeah,
the Type
they're
S.
awesome.
Yeah, it looked
Yeah, they're good.
like rolled fenders in the back, and it was real sporty looking. Real nice car.
That was the last trade I was in, was an automotive. So still a gearhead at heart.
Yeah. Hell, I'm still in it. I work for a car dealership now, doing wholesale parts.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Make a
Yeah,
hell
after
of
we
a
get
lot
off
more
the
money now.
after we get
Yeah,
off the hangout, Bubba, I'll text you a picture of the car after they painted it. It came out really badass. So you'll
yeah, feel
like it.
free. Definitely. I love those cars.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to buy one, actually. That's why I was like, is he talking about the 2005?
Yeah, because I'm a Honda guy. I've always been a Honda guy. I'm tired of being in a Honda now, especially with the tanks and stuff. I'm like, I need a truck. But because I've got a 4-door SI right now. But before that, I had a '03 Civic EX
Oh, nice. Yeah.
that kept up pretty nice with the Type S's.
The hatchback, or did you have the coupe?
No, I had the
Or
2-door.
sedan, I should say.
Yeah, the EX. So it had the small motor in it, and it had the 2.0 VTEC.
Yeah, those are. It got pretty crazy once the B18 and those came out because it's like, holy crap, that's a huge motor on the little car. You
Yeah,
push
they had
with
a
the
lot of
turbo.
power. Huh?
Oh, hell
And
yeah. Ton of power.
then the 2010 SI I have now, I dropped a T3 T4 turbo in it a couple years ago.
How much boost were you running on it? Like 7
8
pounds? 10
PSI.
pounds? Oh, okay. Yeah, I figure about that. It just depends on the gateway valve.
Yeah. Oh,
Gateway
I
valve is
could push
important.
I could push it all the way up to, if I wanted to, 16 or 17, but I probably
No,
would have
you'd fry
shredded
the
the
motor,
trans.
man. Don't do it. Don't do
No,
it.
surprisingly, the motor would have held up just fine. It's the transmission that would have been shot, because those transmissions are crap. I,
Yeah, they're not made too great. That's for sure.
I've got a buddy, or I've got a buddy that had the exact same model as me before I got it, and he put a T3 T4 turbo on it, and I forget what transmission he went in with it, but he was running.
If you put it on the automatic, it's gonna shred it. If it's on a stick shift, he has a better chance. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I
he
used to
went
help
in with a
install those.
different.
That's why.
Yeah, he went in with a different transmission. I forget what he went in with, but he was running 16 to 18 pounds of boost on a daily driver.
That's
Wow.
insane. That's way too much boost, man. That's just like crazy boost.
I rode with him once, and I never got in that car again.
Yeah, dude. I never knew a front wheel drive car could ever get that much power until I met a couple of the guys who were into street racing, Hondas, and anything Japanese or Euro. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
it's impressive.
I have now since taken the turbo off because I was going to trade the car in, but I have not done that yet. But I plan on doing that probably within the next year or so.
Yeah, if it's still good and you have the manifold and everything else, just switch it out real quick.
Oh yeah, that's what I
Sell it.
did. I actually blew the throwout bearing. Like
Okay.
seriously,
Those
when
aren't
I
too
pulled
bad
the
though.
throw,
Actually, you can separate that tranny if you get someone like a tranny jack to separate it. You can throw that back in there. If you know the clutch and everything else is still good, and that bearing just went out, you can squeeze it in. You can definitely
but
squeeze it in.
I drove probably about 60 miles after that bearing went out to make it home. on a Sunday. Otherwise, I would have just had the tow truck haul it up to work. So, running stop signs, red lights, everything. Just I'm making it.
Yeah, right.
And
It's already engaged.
I made it, and I let the car sit for an hour before I even touched it. And then once I started working on it, I had the motor and tranny sitting on the ground in 30 minutes.
Oh, good.
Then I had to wait for the parts to come in.
Well, you got to connect, so it's good. You'll be able to get that part pretty easy.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Clutch was gone by the time I made it. Throwout bearing was in, I think, 4 different pieces.
Did you end up getting the same pressure plate and everything, or just did you end up changing that? And did your flywheel still, was it okay, or was it toast?
I probably should have turned it.
That's what I'm asking.
I probably should have turned it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. And this has been 8 months, so no issues so far.
Oh, good.
But we'll see how long that clutch lasts too. If it goes out in a year or two.
Like over time, they fell quicker.
Yeah, so but once I got the motor out, I went ahead and took all the turbo off. Had to buy a new cat and put back in it to pass emissions. Because when I did it, I was like, oh, I'm going to be smart. Yes, Mike, we're talking about go-karts.
I put a little when I got it. I did an exhaust, cold air intake, and I wound up getting like, I think 8 or 9 horsepower out of that. And it wound up costing me $1,700, and I decided that's enough, man. This car's already fast enough. For the little gains I'm getting, it's not even worth it. Plus, I wanted it to be it's my daily driver, so.
Yeah.
Still want a daily driver. You don't want to do all that craziness to it. Trust me. It's not
worth it. And when I do trade in my car on a truck, I will be going out finding me a little beat up Honda or beat up Toyota for a daily driver, because I drive 50 miles one way to work.
Get a Prius, man.
Oh, Mike's over here talking smack. Y'all talking about go-karts? I can't say much. I drive a WRX.
Ah, jeez. So all-wheel drive, man, huh? It's all good. I like Subarus. They're awesome.
Oh, yeah, they are. Mike, you can jump on in here. Click that link. Let me grab a drink, guys.
Yeah.
Not that I got far to go.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, having a couple. If I suddenly drop out, though, my battery's getting super low, so I'm not being rude, just in case I drop the call.
Yeah, no problem.
But
I'm just glad I finally got a phone now that I can shoot my tank with.
Dude, the picture quality, I know we haven't talked about it other than what I messaged you.
Right.
It's insane, man. It is so clean.
Yeah, I cannot.
What phone did you get?
I got the S9 Plus.
I
had
the Galaxy, the new one.
Did y'all?
I had the S7. I had the S7 Edge, and I really liked the phone. But when I first bought it, on the second day I had it, it fell out of my pocket in my car and went between the seat and the center console, and it hit perfect on the edge on the metal bracket that holds the seat in, and shattered the screen. Second day I had it, and so I had insurance on it, so I sent it in, and of course they sent me a refurbished phone, and And ever since I got the refurbished, it never worked worth a shit. I mean, it fingerprint sensor never worked. The camera was always shit. So I've been just kind of waiting, and they wound up giving me a $300 trade-in on my S7 Edge. So I wound up just, it didn't cost me really any more to upgrade. So
you go through Best
nice.
Buy with the for the extra?
No, I went
directly
through Samsung.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice. See, when I traded in my 7 Plus, I got a $300 trade-in on my iPhone 10. Well, on the 7 Plus for my iPhone 10.
Yeah, I used to really like iPhones, but once they started charging for the cloud storage, and I like to have the micro SD card.
Yeah.
You could just pop it out with your videos and pictures and stuff, and
Yeah, throw it in your computer and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mike, 140K, nice.
That's it. My 03 Civic had 375,000 miles on it when I traded it in.
I have a 2000 F-150 pickup. It has 40,000 original miles on it.
Oh, wow, you don't take it anywhere, man.
Well, here's the thing: is I like the truck a lot, and I put it's just a 2-wheel drive F-150, the 5.4 liter, and I really liked it. So what I did is I put a 6-inch lift on it. I put 35-inch tires, and it was getting about 10 miles to the gallon. So it was kind of expensive to drive. And then it got hit out. It was a hit and run out in front of my house, and it tore the whole rear end out of it. And I thought it was going to be totaled, but they decided to fix it. And ever since they fixed it, it's just I can't stand it anymore. It drives like crap. It makes weird noises. It even sits kind of like funny. And so I use it to go to the dump, to go to Home Depot, and that kind of stuff. So I don't even think I've washed it in like 2.5, 3 years.
That's funny. I haven't watched the damn thing in years.
It gets washed when it rains.
Well, I was going to say you're a smart man for keeping the miles low on that Ford, because it wouldn't last too much longer.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a Chevy guy for sure.
Oh yeah. I'm a Chevy guy. I will have to say that.
That's never gonna end. That war will never end.
And the sad thing is,
go ahead.
My entire family is a Ford family, and I cannot stand Fords because of it.
Yeah, that was an impulse buy. I had actually, when they first came out, I think it was in '97, Dodge Dakota 4-wheel drive came out with a 318 in it. So I saw the commercial. I'm like, oh my God, I got to have that truck. So I bought it, fixed it up exactly how I wanted it, and I couldn't keep the thing out of the shop, man. That thing was the biggest lemon I've ever owned. And one day, I think it only had it was 250 miles out of warranty, and the whole I took it in, it was acting weird, and the whole suspension underneath was shot, the ball joints were shot, and I said enough of this bullshit, and I just took it right into the Ford dealer, saw a truck there, and I just traded it in. I didn't even really want that Ford truck, but
you just didn't want to see that car anymore.
I was so fed up, man.
Done.
I was like, done. Fuck this truck. I'm done.
I totally get it.
Oh yeah.
I did the same with an old car myself. I don't care. Just take the damn thing. Give me $5,000 for it. We'll call it good. Sure.
Yep.
See, and the funny thing is, on that 2003 Civic with almost 400,000 miles on it, they were only going to give me $500 for it, which I expected, but they're like, you're gonna need 1,000 to make the deal go through for a down payment. You got 500 on the trade in, so need you to put 500 down more. I whip out this big stack of paperwork from my job because I just got the reports of how much I spent with each dealership that year. I said, I spent $2.8 million with you this year in parts. I think you're gonna make my trade in work. Otherwise, I'm walking out. He's like, oh, let me go talk to my manager.
Right, and you're working there behind the desk selling the parts. It's like, make it work.
I had an '08 SI. It was a great car. I literally beat the shit out of it, but it was rusted like crazy. Yeah, that's my only complaint with these SIs is they have paint issues, and there's a recall for the blue and the blacks for the paint issue, but mine is the rally car red is what it calls. Essentially, it's burnt orange, and it's not part of the recall. So the best that they would do is give me. I would have to pay. Pretty much, they're giving me 10% off of the repair for it. Oh yeah, Fiji blue. That's part of the recall. So you could have got that entire car repainted for free, Mike. And now I work for a Honda dealer, so I know all that. Yeah, the black and the blue are the first ones that came out with the recall on the paint. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? There it is. So what have you been doing, Mike?
Hey, John, I'm gonna jump off, but
All right.
gotta
Have a good night,
gonna
bud.
have dinner right now, and then just hang out with the wife for a little bit. If you're still on, I'll jump back in.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, bud. See you. I don't know, Phil, if you're still there. See you, and Mike in the chat.
Yeah, my phone's about to die too, so I'm gonna pop out as well, John. But it's good talking to both of you.
Yeah, good, bud. It's nice talking to you guys too. Have a
Oh
good
yeah.
one.
All right.
See you guys.
All right. Take it easy.
All right. Later. And I'm the only one left. Well, besides Mike in the chat. Let's see. Like, I'm actually trying to think. Let's see. Trying to think if I'm even subscribed to you, Mike, because I'm not sure. About to find out. And I am not. Well, I am now. Yeah, which one, Mike? There's four of them. The one behind me, it's actually doing pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Usually when I got uh I got oh let me readjust. This weekend I'm gonna be doing something different for when I'm doing live streams. That way I'm not sitting on the floor. But the 60 is doing good. Yes. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. But the 60, it's actually doing pretty good. That's the one behind me. So the ocean revives are providing adequate light. Uh, my corals are all a whole lot happier. Oh, looks like my algae clip came off and it's just spinning up top. But green hair algae issues. Yeah, I feel you. The nano's been neglected since the lights have came in for this one. Uh, Definitely been neglected. But I'll be getting that tank back in tip-top shape here before too long. I gotta get some corals in it because my lighting on this tank wasn't doing the job, so I put all the corals from this tank into the Pico that had a decent LED light on it that would keep everything alive. Oh, you're good, Reef Keeper. No problem. You can come in anytime you want. Uh, but yeah, so I brought the corals back over into this tank. And now I've got to get that nano back in shape for Rico's Nano Challenge. But yeah, Mike, I got two saltwater tanks. The girlfriend's got a 90 freshwater planted tank with a huge pleco in it. I'm talking, this thing's probably 15 inches long. And then the daughter's got the 20 long in her bedroom, that which is essentially my leftover freshwater tank. So yeah, lots of tanks. I had a 29 set up too that I was going to use for a quarantine. And the younger kids kept throwing stuff in the water. So I was like, yeah, not going to happen unless I need fish in quarantine. And then I'll just do a quick cycle. That's what some of those rocks over here are for. I'll just pull those out and throw them in the quarantine tank to do a quick cycle on them quick cycle on the tank before I go out and buy fish. But if the fish gets sick, I'll figure that out as I go. Let's see. Uh-oh. If I can get some more people in here and make this more lively. That way you don't have to sit here and listen to me go on and on about random ass shit. Alright, restore. Uh-oh, did I lose everything? There it goes. Yeah, Reefer, I heard Reefer Madness has a stream going. It was about 7 minutes ago. Still have that same clownfish in my morning. Nice. Yeah, I started freshwater when I was like 12 or 13, somewhere in there. Had those tanks going for a long time. Um, always was afraid to do saltwater, thinking it would cost too much money, or when I really wanted to do saltwater, I was told no by ex-wife, and that it's going to cost too much money. So let's see here. Let's see if his is still going. I can't seem to find his channel. Yeah, I know that feeling. But that's usually how it ends up, honestly. Let's see. Bear with me for a second. Just trying to find something. Get back in here. Let's see. Look at the chat. Yeah, there's a lot of them like that. A lot. Oh dang! I got 5 thumbs up now. That's good. Thank you for the thumbs up. Honestly, just getting people in here is a surprise to me. Still kind of humbles me a little bit, even though right now it's just you, Mike. But I still appreciate it. Gives me something to do, keeps me out of trouble. Oh, dude, these ocean revives, I absolutely love them. I set the timer, I set the intensity, and I don't mess with them. I just leave them be. I have never been able to keep a torch or a frog spawn, acans. I've somehow always killed them. But when I killed the frog spawn off, I never took the branch out. I noticed the other night there's some polyps starting to grow out again. So that like made my night. The torch that I have over there, it's looking like it's getting pushed around quite a bit by the gyre, but it's pretty retracted because the blues are on right now. That's that little mass on the bottom of that corner. But it's the fattest I've ever seen it. So it seems like it's happy. The Zoa's sprouting new heads almost every day. It's crazy. I never would have thought me switching from T5s to those ocean revives would be like that. It is a 60, just a plain Jane Petco or PetSmart 60-gallon tall. It's it's like 24 inches tall, 12 and a half deep, and 48 inches wide. So it's a 60. I got a new editing software for these YouTube videos I've been doing. Yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I got the Pinnacle Studio 21 Plus. It was on sale at Best Buy. Not Best Buy, but Fry's. Haven't really played around with it too much. This is just one of the preview things it has on there, so I'll probably end up doing a full complete review on it. Why not? No wonder I'm not subscribed to him because I can't even find his YouTube channel, Reefer Madness. Yeah, I was looking at that one also. Um, and that's what I do. I just take it off my phone. I do all the recording on my phone and then just edit on the computer. I was using iMovie there for a long time, but started kind of running out of things to do with it. So I was like, well, that and the girlfriend does a lot of YouTube videos too on her channel. We're like, why not just get a new software for the laptops? So that's what we did. I found his live stream. Yeah, this Pinnacle Studio 21 Plus is not. Hold on. Sorry, I don't know if you heard any of their live stream going on. But yeah, I'm not sure if you can see this right now. Let's see. It's not the easiest to use, I will say. But once you learn it, it gets easier to go as you go. Let's see. Someone's in here. Someone's lurking. Let's see. See if any of the lurkers want to join. Sorry, I'm sitting here lurking on their live stream over there at Reefer Madness. So, let's let's see, who was that? That just Ryan, if you're watching, thanks for the sub. Hey, Mike, I'll be right back. And be like, probably be in about, it'll be less than 5 minutes. I can tell you that much. Ow. What on earth just stabbed me? Anyways, sorry. Feel free to join. Yeah, Mike, we got somebody else in here. They're not talking, but they're in here. I'll be right back.
Can you hear me? I was trying to see if this would work. I don't know if it is. But either way, I can't see the chat, so.
All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's a big delay. I did the video from my phone before I even started typing in the chat. But yeah, got this vape right here. It's a good vape. Just I'm a heavy smoker, so it's gonna take a minute for me to fully kick the cigarettes, I think. But I smoke a hell of a lot less. Mike, I am going to close down this live stream, and I'm just going to jump over there at the other live stream. I don't know if you have Reefer Madness, if you're sub to him, but let's continue this over there. If you would like. I'm going to post a link just in case you're not and you want to join over there. That's a link to his YouTube live. I'll see you over there.